Hey everyone, welcome to Josh and Ferd vs. the World. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys could please drop a like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the video, really help us grow and we appreciate it.
Indeed, thank you guys very much, and we hope you enjoy.
Enjoy. This week we're going to be doing a little bit shorter episode, but shorter does not mean less jam-packed. I'm Josh.
I am Bedford.
And we're going to get right into it this week. So what we're looking at is nothing short of just absolute economic chaos in the markets as Trump and Xi Jinping are going at it in this trade war.
Man, it's starting to get maybe a little petty. I don't know if that's because of Trump or because of Xi, maybe a little bit of both. But there is no shortage of pettiness. It's getting a little bit heated.
See, I would phrase this as Trump's ego versus China's communism.
That's a pretty apt description.
It's like an immovable force meeting an unstoppable object. Now, whichever one of those is Trump's ego and whichever one of those is China's communism, I'll leave that to you to decide.
I think that's a good, yeah. That's a good way to leave it on that. But let's get moving
right into it with this story from Reuters. So what it's looking like right now is China's economic growth is basic complete stall out right now. They're going from a 5% projected GDP in the or growth in GDP in the first quarter to a 3%. That's bad.
I mean, from between 3 and 5%. I mean, what are the real implications of that? What's the real effect of that type of dip?
Basically, mass layoffs, the job market being way down and almost being impossible to find new work when you do get laid off. No demand for your product, no money being pumped into the economy. I believe I was reading that China's middle class is hoarding the wealth, China's lower class has no wealth, and China's upper class is leaving.
So I think it's safe to say that J.D. Vance's assertion that we are borrowing money from the Chinese peasants to pay the Chinese upper class, in effect, I think that's seeming like that might have been true.
Well, in some regards, I would say that it is. A big thing for me on this, and if you read into this article, it really kind of breaks it down. So, I mean, you were looking at a 5% projected growth at the original start of Q1, and then, 4% January to February, which was originally expected to be 5.8 to 5.9%. And then it's just dropped off a clip. So it's downgraded its forecast in 2025 from growth from 3.4 to 4. Oh, okay. So actually they're saying it might not be as bad.
But it was projected to be in the upper fives, if not close to 6%.
When you're talking about a single percentage, it's really, I feel like it kind of undermines like how big that actually affects the economy, because like growth of 1% in the economy is huge, and when you're projected to grow 5% to 6%, and then you're looking at almost having that at 3 or 4%, it's not good.
No, certainly not. Well, do you think that's going to elicit the kind of response that Trump is looking for?
Well, see, now that's the other thing, because China has came out multiple times and said they're willing to do whatever it takes and fight to the end, no matter how much their people suffer. Shockingly, communist people or a communist society doesn't care if their people suffer.
Yeah. Well, now maybe they should, because I've heard some points made that in a circumstance like that, in a communist China type of circumstance, the only thing that really makes that work, and the only reason people are kind of accepting and abiding by that type of structure, is because the people of China are in work and they're able to feed themselves, right? And people are living pretty good, and then they choose to take on whatever spoils of capitalism that they can get from the U.S. But if they, if they start to lose those positive aspects, the things that they enjoy about the current system, that's the makings for, I would maybe not say a revolution, but certainly some severe backlash from the people of China if, they just all of a sudden don't have all this nice stuff that they've enjoyed.
Yeah, and it's certainly led them to an interesting negotiating position because what they've realized is that their exports, like, iPhones, smartphones, clothes, all those goods, those are mainly been moved to places like Vietnam, Taiwan, Mexico. Well, China has tried to move towards advanced technology infrastructure. So, you know, the main way they've been trying to use their leverage is to ban rare earth exports and heavy rare earth exports to the U.S. companies and to a lot of EU markets as a result of the trade war, really mainly U.S. companies as a result of this trade war. And that's really, I think, their final trump card because it will impact American industry, as those are something that would be hard to just change the supply chain and figure out a new way to get those for our processing and manufacturing and whatever we want to do with it here in the States. It's not impossible, but we're certainly going to feel it. Now, to the degree that China's feeling it right now, where pretty much all their factories are shut down, they have an entire basically generation that's out of work. I don't know.
Well, and they're trying to, manually lower the value of their was it the yen?
The yuan.
Yuan,
The
same
yuan.
difference, same difference.
I believe the yen is Japanese.
It might be. I think. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but they've been manually lowering the value of the currency. But if they have to lower it too much too quickly, I mean, that just rapid deflation. It can obviously spell disaster for almost any economy. So,
Well, if they're lowering the value, that would be inflation. Inflation is where you lose buying power with your. So the reason they do that too is to keep their goods cheap. So they lower the value of the yuan in like comparison to the value of the dollar, so that in case if a U.S. company wanted to come over here, it would be much cheaper. So if the yuan trades for $20 per se, I don't know what the actual exchange rate is. I'm pretty sure it's much higher than that. And they change it and artificially inflate it to where the yuan is 25, or 25 yuan is $1. Well, then you've just essentially given yourself an extra like few percentage of buying power as an American. And since China's not buying a lot of goods in dollars, it doesn't affect China's imports nearly as drastically as it affects. And this is kind of that strategy that they employed to bring companies over and to make it cheap and efficient to come to China. Come to China, we'll make your shit cheap. And don't worry about how we do it. Don't worry about the conditions of the factories. Don't worry about how happy our employees are. Don't worry about, we all love the government because that's how Chinese people have to be, because God forbid you being critical of the government, you just poof, disappear.
Yeah.
Go Mr. Invisible.
Well, like you never existed, and nor many lines of your family outside. No, maybe that's more.
No,
North
that's
Korea.
North Korea. Yeah,
that's North Korea. They go after the family line.
That one's tough, dude.
I mean, it's they're doing their own thing. They always have been, and I think they'll just keep doing their own thing. But
I mean, China does actually prop up North Korea, so maybe as they're going through this trade war, they'll start being able to prop up North Korea, and this could have the unintended consequence of killing North Korea and China.
I don't know. Does North Korea have any rare earth minerals that might be of use to the U.S.?
Good luck finding them.
I mean, if we could finagle, I mean, just imagine if we started supporting North Korea to leverage their
the only way
their
that
minerals and
happens
resources.
In my mind, the only way that happens is if there's oil there. The U.S. Army would be there so fast.
Yeah. No, certainly.
We found that there's oil in North Korea. We must invade.
Yeah. We're going to go on a peacekeeping mission in North Korea.
Well, see, last time America went on a peacekeeping mission in North Korea, we actually ended up fighting China, too. So maybe parallels could be drawn there, like the 38th parallel. Good history joke for any of you guys.
Yes. But yeah, so anyways, point being, I think... I think that they're really at a point where their negotiating power is, although it was not the worst before, I think that their negotiating power is only lessening as the circumstance goes along.
Well, that is something to think on. But I think that's a good place to end this. I mean, I don't know if we're going to be screwed yet. It's still a lot of speculation, but we're about 10 minutes in.
All right. All right. We hope you guys enjoyed this short form video. We're just trying it out, seeing how it works, but be sure to let us know in the comments about what you think.
Yeah, and if you liked it, be sure to drop a like, share, subscribe. It really helps us grow.
Indeed. Thank you guys very much. And as always,
have a wonderful day.
And y'all be easy.